Hey everybody, welcome back, and stick around because today we're talking about the ATN ThOR LT thermal rifle scope.
Just start. We'll finish. Quick finishing pass, not too bad. And I'll probably do that.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. He's safe and have fun on the range. So we started out with starlight scopes, and then we went to different generations of night vision. So now, let's jump into thermal rifle scopes. So before we get to the unboxing, I feel I need to tell you that I don't know anyone at ATN. No one at ATN has contacted me. In fact, ATN didn't even send this. A third-party organization sent this for review. So you're going to get my unedited, unbiased opinion on this scope.
All right, let's get to it and open this up and see what you get when you purchase this scope. Get the self-aim out of the way. That's nice. Looks like right off the bat, this scope comes with a cover. It's like an ocular shade. Here is what the optic looks like. So the reason, get some literature here, the reason I wanted to pick this thermal optic to do a review on is because it is 1.4 pounds, which is pretty light for a piece of equipment like this. Inside the scope cover there is, looks to be charging cable. So let's look at some of the features on this thing. The micro display is obviously 1280 by 720 high definition, 90 millimeters, which is 2.5 inches of eye relief. The reticles, there's multiple reticle patterns, weather resistant, white hot or black hot, so basically you can change the contrast of what's hot or cold. One shot zero, which is a really interesting feature, we'll get into that. The charging cable, USB Type-C, 30 millimeter standard rings. It does not come with rings, so that's good to note. The battery life is about 10 hours. Everyone I've talked to about these scopes that has them or run them, that's pretty accurate. And you got your dimensions there, and the weight being 1.4 pounds. That's a real big plus for the guys that hike up mountains and go hunting and stalk their prey. So here is what your optic looks like. Here is where the charging port is. So this is a 4 to 8 power. You can either select 4 power or 8 power by hitting this button. And here is the eye cup or the ocular shade. So here's the ocular lens. You can use this or not, doesn't really matter. And then you'll focus the screen that you're looking at with this. And then you focus what you're looking at out in the field or wherever your target with this focus. So here's your charging cable, and there's your Type-C USB. There's your USB in, so you're going to be charging it through a computer, or you can go out and purchase one of these that converts the wall plug-in to a USB cable. Plug that in. So the MSRP on this is $13.99, although I have found a few places that do have it for cheaper. The recoil rating on this, that's another important note. The recoil rating on these is 375 H&H Magnum, 416 Rigby, around there. That's about the max that they can go. The 30 millimeter rings, like I said, were not included. The thermal frequency of this, if anybody is interested in that, is 60 Hertz. The body of the scope is hardened aluminum, which means that it's either a 2000, 6000, 7000, or 8000 series of aluminum that can be hardened, so it is an aluminum alloy. This scope does have a 3-year warranty on it, so if anything happens to go wrong with it, then you are covered. I did want to bring up the weight on this again, 1.4 pounds. That is pretty light for something like this. This is also good for guys that are using either crossbows or The newer hunters that are starting to use those air rifles, I don't know if you've seen those, but man, those are extremely powerful. Anyhow, it is nice for lighter rifles like that too. When you do get one of these, they recommend that you charge it for at least 6 hours. They do come partially charged from the factory. One thing to note, this scope is under certain export control laws, which means if you were to go hunting in Canada or Mexico or South America, you'd probably have to check the laws and make sure that you can bring this with you. So I got some 30mm rings here, and I have a donor rifle. I believe I'm going to be using the AR-15 because most hog hunters are going to have something same or similar of that. And so we'll get this mounted up and then we'll head off to the range.
One more thing, guys. This is a video camera basically recording a monitor. So you're going to see some red and green lines going from top to bottom. You cannot see these. These are transparent to the human eye because this is at a 60 hertz frequency. But the video camera does pick those up, but you will not see those when you're looking through the scope. Alright everyone, so you just saw a picture of the pad on top of the optic. The upper left button is the power button. One press on, one press off. The button on the top with the magnifying glass, the short press, will give you 3 to 6 or 4 to 8 for zoom. The left button, short presses, will contrast the image. The button on the right side, a short press, will allow you either 100%, 60%, 30%, or 10% brightness of that display screen. The center button is the OK button, and that'll come into play with either the menu or if you want to manually nuke your optic. And basically nuke means that you recalibrate the temperature settings of what you're looking at to get a more crisper image. So if an animal comes into view and he's a little fuzzy, you can hit the nuke button. There's also an option for auto nuke. We'll get into that. And then the down button with the 2 circles. The short press will change your thermal mode from white hot to black hot, so you can change your contrast settings there. So let's go into the menu really quick. That's auto nuke. Sorry, that was a short press. So here's your menu. You'll see in the upper left hand corner, you'll see the nuke, and that will be either on or off if you want the nuke on or off. And I know this isn't exactly focused, but I'm also focusing on an optic that is trying to focus in on something else, so it's a little difficult. The one option below that will be your pixel correction. If there's some sort of imperfection in the screen somewhere, you can actually do a pixel correction, hover over the spot that has a problem and do a pixel correction. I've actually never had to use that function. The screen is nice and crisp, the image is crisp and clear, and I've never had to use that, but you can actually manually adjust and fix pixels that have an issue in this reticle. Next one down is going to be your reticle styles. So you got just a dot, you got a range finding reticle, you've got the 3-hair center dot reticle, and then your duplex, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Your thermal sensor sensitivity, that option gives you the ability to adjust the thermal sensitivity of the thermal optic, and also has, that's something that I have not yet had to use yet. Right now I'm in the garage. This is just looking at, right now it's aimed at a key cutter, and I went outside. I've never had to adjust the thermal sensor on this. Going down, this is the auto zooming feature. It says 1-shot zeroing. In reality, it might be 2-shot. The most important part about the 1-shot zeroing is having the rifle in a steady rest with an accurate rifle, accurate ammunition with the ammunition you're going to be using, doing 1 shot, and then you can auto-correct. So let's just do that really quick. So let's say we shot low left. Then we would go low and left. And then you'd re-zero. Now you can see that black outline of the crosshairs, the previous crosshairs. That's where it was previously zeroed. We can go right back to that. And then you'd hit that one more time, and then you're zeroed. So that's how that function works. So go back to the main menu here. You can also see that you have a tilt sensor and a angle sensor. And then let's see if I can get this in focus really quick. The upper right, you can see the battery life. And this optic right now, I let it sit outside overnight, so it is pretty much freezing cold. And the battery wasn't fully charged, but you can see we still have about 75% battery life on it. So there's your zoom options right there. So let's take this thing outside and see what it can do. Hey everybody, we're here at a private range where I'll be testing the optic. The optic has been sitting outside for an hour now, and we're going to be testing its durability and zeroing capability. The weatherman says that it is 6 degrees out right now. My truck is recording 1 degree Fahrenheit out, so it'll be a pretty good test for the guys who hunt in really cold climates. And I thought it'd be a good time to bring up that without the full 30 forum that I've stated before to go check out, I wouldn't even have met this third party. I wouldn't even be doing any of this right now. So go check out the full 30 forum. It's definitely worth your time. And now I'm gonna go freeze my hands off. All right, guys, we're out here. We're gonna sight in the ATN ThOR LT. It's about 6 degrees out right now, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so there's our target out there, 100 yards. It's a 24 by 12 steel target, and we're gonna take our first shots here. All right, guys, this is pretty hard to hold steady, but we got our nice warm 24 by 12 target. We're gonna take a few shots at it. Ooh. Let me hold that. Let's take a few shots at here at this. Get this zeroed in. All right, let's go check it out. All right, guys. So we just got this all zeroed out. The one-shot zeroing really is nice to have. And this is our 3-shot group. This is about 1 inch tip to tip. It does stay zeroed. Like I said, right now it's about maybe 6 degrees out, really windy, really cold. But the scope is taking all the everything that nature and the environment can throw at it, and it's keeping zero, as you can see. And yeah, I really have zero issues taking this on a hunting trip. So anyhow, remember, loose is fast, brakes only slow you down, and seeing at night, or at least seeing thermally while you're hunting, is a big advantage. Be safe and have fun on the range. We'll see you next time.